Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss a poem, namely an introduction by Kamala Das. But in my previous video, I completed half of the poem, and now I am going to finish the poem in my second video. Today I am going to start from this line. Then I wore a shirt and my brother's trousers, cut my hair short and ignored my womanliness. Look at the urge of the poetess. Being woman, she has to experience much suffering, much ignorance, much torture, much negligence. That's why she tries to come out of the womanliness. She tries to take the shape of a boy, of a man, only to be fit in the society. It is one kind of revolt against the male-dominated society. If you don't come to our party, then you will be tortured. Right? Dress in sari, be girl, be wife, they said. Again, they means the critics, the visiting cousins, the friends, the critics, many male members of the society. Again give her injunction that she must not take the shape of a boy. She must be stereotype woman. Stereotype woman, she must be a woman in her dress, in her mentality, in her appearance, everything. Right? Be embroiderer, be cook, be a cobbler with servants. Look at the activities assigned to the womankind. Nowadays, the role and function of the woman are being changed. But if you look at the traditional woman, cooking, embroidering, or very often quarreling with the servants, these are the derogative activities attributed to the woman class. And now, the critics of Kamala Das give injunction that she should be engaged in these domestic activities. Fit in. Oh, belong, cried the categorizers. Categorizers means the critics. They want to categorize Kamala Das in a traditional, or better to say, stereotype womanhood. Don't sit on walls or peep in through our lace draped windows. Some arching boys are there in the market, and they normally sit on the wall, jump from the wall, jump over the wall. Very often they peep into the room of the neighbors through the draped windows, curtained windows. And Kamala Das seems to be a tomboy, tomboy, and she behaves like the arching boy, right? And again the injunction comes. She is strictly prohibited not to do this. She is strictly prohibited to be Amiyan or be Kamala. The hackneyed name, the traditional name. That's why the categorizers say that she must be like any other woman in the traditional Indian society. Traditional Indian society, she must not cross the limit. She must be within the boundaries as attributed by the mankind. That the mankind may not permit her this type of activities, or better still be Madhavikuti. The childhood name of Kamala Das was Madhavikuti. It is time to choose a name, a role. She has to choose a name. She has to fix a role. Of course, that fixing must not exceed, must not cross the boundary. As we see in our Indian society, the male members are always drawing a circle of activities attributed to the ladies. If a lady crosses that margin, then she should be treated harshly. She should be criticized. Very often she is psychologically or physically beaten. Don't play pretending games. Don't play at schizophrenia, one kind of game, or be a nympho. Right? Again injunction. Schizophrenia is one kind of game, and nympho, the word nympho is very dangerous in the social context. Nympho is referred to that man or woman who is not satisfied with one sexual partner, right? Who wishes to undergo more than one sexual partners. So abnormal sexuality is said to be nympho. Our poetess does not do this yet. This type of labeling, dangerous labeling is given upon her. In her practical life, she may be undergoing more than one relation, but she is not responsible. Actually, male members are responsible for this. But the society imposes all the guilts upon Kamala Das. Don't cry embarrassingly loud when jilted in love. Look at the injunction. Only the men have hearts. Only men can express their feelings when they are jilted. If a woman is jilted in love, then the woman should not speak against this. She should not express her anger, or better to say anxiety, to anybody else. She should tolerate it. I met a man, loved him. In another place, the poetess loved a man. Call him not by any name. He is every man who wants, right? Who wants a woman. As I loved him, I placed him in a superb position, high position. But I am sorry to say, he is every man, meaning he represents all the mankind, right? All the mankind who wants a woman to continue the life, to be fit in the society, he needs a woman, as every man needs. Just as I am every woman who seeks love. It is the mutual longing of the male and female of the society, right? It is the natural urge that we need partner to continue our life. So, the lover, in him, the hungry haste of rivers. Look at the metaphor. The lover is compared to the ocean, a river. The river is always mobile, the river is always active, the river is always energetic. And the lover seems to be hunger like the river, hungry like the river. In me, the ocean starless waiting. It is the biological functioning. The passivity of the womankind is seen during sexual intercourse, and she is rightly compared to the ocean. The ocean is flat and seems to be not so energetic, not so be mobile like that of sea river. That's so rightly she compares herself to the ocean and her beloved, her lover to a river. Who are you? I ask each and every one. The answer is, it is I. It is the male ego. I means male ego. Whenever our poetess asks about his identity, then he says that I am I. I meaning dominant I. Meaning I can do everything. nobody question I. I is omnipotent in the earth. Anywhere and everywhere. Yes, the I can be anywhere and everywhere. It is their special privilege. I see the one who calls himself I in this world. He is tightly packed like this sword in its sheath, meaning security. It means the male members are naturally getting security in the society. As the sword is protected in a scabbard, in the same way a male member is protected in the male-dominated society. Male-dominated society. It is I who drink lonely drinks at 12 midnight in hotels of strange towns. Look at the activities, derogative activities, derailed activities, antisocial activities, unsocial activities, asocial activities. These are done by the male members. Specifically I, specifically the present lover of the poetess. He shamelessly says that he can do these things without any injunction. It is I who laugh, it is I who make love and then feel shame. The I, if he wishes, he will laugh. If he wishes, he will make love. And if he wishes, he can also feel shame. It is I who lie dying with a rattle in my throat. It is the curse from the poet's end. She actually curses that such a man, such I should be suffering from throat problem, throat disease. I am sinner and I am saint. The famous line. He is the sinner and he pretends to be saint. Whatever he wishes, he can do. He is sinner in one hand. He confesses that he commits so many crimes in the society. He knows about his crimes and yet he pretends that to be saint. I am the beloved and the betrayed. Right? Here the poetess speaks about her own life. I am the beloved, I am betrayed. Betrayed by the male members. I have no joys that are not yours. The same kind of joys, pleasures and enjoyment are shared by male and female, should be shared by male and female. No eggs which are not yours. Meaning the aching and joys, everything is shared, equally shared by, should be shared by male and female, but that does not happen in the male-dominated society. In the patriarchal society, the lady is always cornered, tortured. I to call myself I. Meaning, at the very end of the poem, the poetess says that if you are I, then I am also I. You and I should take the same position, same rights, same privileges. But unfortunately, that is not happening. This is how Kamala Das speaks her mind against the male-dominated society. She highlights the predicaments of the womankind in the male-dominated society. That's why she advocates for the common cause, for the common ladies, the suffering women in the society. Hope you have understood. Well, thank you.